Introduction to Meditation, a beginner's guidebook to start mindfulness, create a daily practice, and transform your life. Written by Noraa Casi. Narrated by Amanda Jo. Part of series Meditation for Everyone. Publisher TQ Associates and ISBN 978-1-917060-24-0.
Copyright 2024. All rights reserved. The content contained within this book may not be reproduced, duplicated, or transmitted without direct written permission from the author or the publisher. Under no circumstances will any blame or legal responsibility be held against the publisher or author for any damages, reparation, or monetary loss due to the information contained within this book, either directly or indirectly. Legal notice. This book is copyright protected. It is only for personal use. You cannot amend, distribute, sell, use, quote, or paraphrase any part or the content within this book without the consent of the author or publisher. Disclaimer notice. Please note the information contained within this document is for educational and entertainment purposes only. All effort has been executed to present accurate, up-to-date, reliable, complete information. No warranties of any kind are declared or implied. Readers acknowledge that the author is not engaged in the rendering of legal, financial, medical, or professional advice. The content within this book has been derived from various sources. Please consult a licensed professional before attempting any techniques outlined in this book. By reading this document, the reader agrees that under no circumstances is the author responsible for any losses, direct or indirect, that are incurred as a result of the use of the information contained within this document, including, but not limited to, errors, omissions, or inaccuracies.
Publisher TQ Associates and ISBN 978-1-917060-24-0.
Introduction. The Inspiration. Meditation is something that literally saved my life. I know it sounds trite, but let me tell you my story. I was working in corporate technology and had been for years. I had felt too much stress at a big company and had moved to a smaller one, hoping that the demands would be less. They weren't. The stress was taking a toll on my life. My relationships were suffering. I was often ill with stomach problems. And at the end of each day, I wanted nothing more than to go home and shut down completely. I was desperate for something to help me feel better and regain my balance. Meditation was something that I had tried as a teenager and something I was hearing a lot about. At the end of one particularly stressful day, I called a friend to vent.
Somewhat exhausted with me, she said offhandedly, "I don't know. Have you tried meditating? I have to go."
And then she hung up. I cried the rest of the drive home. But I didn't know what else to do, so when I got home, I tried meditating. After about 15 minutes of fidgeting around, I felt slightly calmer, but it was enough. I tried again the next day when I got home from work, and the day after that. Soon, I was researching meditation, finding out about its benefits, and doing a lot of reading on the topic. Fast forward to now, I'm an avid meditator. I quit the corporate job that wasn't working for me. I now teach via consulting practice, but my main passion is to write to help people going through a similar journey, or daily teaching in any form I can. Meditation wasn't the only thing that changed my life, but it was the catalyst that gave me the clarity to begin making the changes I needed. If it weren't for meditation, I'd still be burnt out, venting to toxic friends every day after work, and barely hanging on. I'm sure you've heard about the benefits of meditation. If you weren't curious about it, you wouldn't be listening to this book. But there's a lot more and a lot less to meditation than you might think. By more, I mean more benefits, more science that proves its usefulness, and more unique ways to approach the practice than usually gets talked about. There's also a lot more history and tradition that you can draw on to discover what works for you. By less, I mean there's less mystery, less demands, and less mysticism than you may think. The spiritual side of meditation is certainly there, and as a spiritual person, I encourage you to approach that aspect of it with an open mind. But if you simply want to do some mindfulness to benefit your relaxation and focus without emphasizing the other aspects, meditation can still work for you.
This book is here to guide you through the most important points and help you find the right type of meditation that will work for your unique needs.
My goal is to help guide you through all of that, so keep an open mind and take any new ideas into consideration. Ultimately, though, this book is about your well-being. So use what works for you and leave the rest for someone else. Meditation can seem intimidating, but you don't need to practice for an hour a day. Buy special incense or cushions, or believe every spiritual teaching to gain its benefits. In fact, in the first chapter, we'll start by demystifying the subject a bit and explaining what it really is and what it entails. We'll look at the history of meditation and some notable people you'll probably hear from as you learn about it, and we'll even bust some unhelpful meditation stereotypes. In Chapter 2, we'll discuss the fundamentals of meditation practice and everything you'll need to know to get started. This way, you can dive straight in as soon as you want to, even before you finish this book. Chapter 3 will discuss why meditation is so beneficial and what a meditative approach to life can offer you. We'll talk about proven benefits as well as why meditation is a practice for everyone, not just a Buddhist monk and mystical yogis. In Chapter 4, we'll talk about the holistic benefits of meditation and what it can offer to your mind, body, and soul. Even if you aren't spiritual or aren't spiritual yet, I encourage you to look at all the benefits you'll gain from meditation as a way to encourage you to continue in this phenomenal practice. In Chapter 5, we'll introduce you to the various forms and styles of meditation. Different styles offer benefits for different people, and I know you'll find something in here that works for you. Sitting mindfulness might not be your thing, but maybe qi or chanting is more to your liking. You'll find a bit about a variety of styles here and get an idea of what types you might want to try or research further. I highly encourage a try-everything approach, even things that might feel unfamiliar or uncomfortable at first. These may lead to deep insights and new joys. In Chapter 6, we'll talk about making meditating fit your life. We'll discuss knowing your motivation and finding the best time and place to fit your daily practice into your schedule. The key to meditation is consistency, so getting a good habit going is essential. It doesn't take hours. In fact, 10 minutes a day for 5 days is better than 1 hour a day once a week. So we'll talk about ways to make the practice a part of daily life. Chapter 7 will dive further into personalizing your meditative journey and really making it work for you and your lifestyle. We'll be talking a bit about enlightenment and demystifying it. Enlightenment is not some high or lofty goal, but a personalized experience that is different for everyone. It's something dynamic and fluid, not a rigid set of traits or ideals that everyone who meditates knows as an immutable truth. We'll also discuss overcoming obstacles to practice and how to address any hurdles you may be facing that keep you from being consistent with your meditation or getting the most out of it. In Chapter 8, we'll discuss breathwork. Breathwork is a part of meditation with a huge number of benefits, but it isn't the easiest, and many people find controlled breathing difficult. But we'll talk about a variety of strategies and ways to make it easier. Finally, I'll wrap everything up in the conclusion. So if you're curious about the benefit of meditation and really ready to get started, turn the page. Learn what works for you and give the practice a try. It might just change your life.
Chapter 1. Demystifying our notion of what meditation is. The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it. Thich Nhat Hanh. Quotes like this, while positive and potentially helpful, can also lead to a misunderstanding about meditation. Meditation is one of those things that is, at its heart, simple. You sit, close your eyes, let your mind be quiet, and focus on your breathing or some other point of attention. but that doesn't mean it's easy. Many people struggle with focused attention, sitting still, and other obstacles to meditation. In time, this book will cover all of those and more. We'll also look at different styles of meditation, so you can find the one that's most suited to you. But let's begin at the beginning. In this chapter, we'll outline a brief history of meditation and look at some of the people you will likely hear from as you delve into more research about the meditation practices. Then we'll address some common misconceptions and stereotypes about meditation and bust those myths wide open. So if quotes like the one above never appealed or made sense to you, don't worry. You aren't alone, and you can definitely still meditate and gain all the amazing benefits that come with the practice. But first, it's important to understand and demystify meditation a bit. History of meditation. The English word meditation comes from the Latin mediatum, which means to ponder. While meditation usually involves focusing on one point of attention, such as breathing or visualization, pondering may not be the best word to use for it. It is interesting to think that in Spanish, me edito means I edit myself. This is an amazing metaphor for meditation. When you meditate, you are rewriting your stories and editing the code on which you operate. Determining how old meditation is can be difficult. It all depends on how you define it. If you take a more broad definition, meditation could be as old as 200,000 to 150,000 years old, with its origins in the group rituals our ancient ancestors did around campfires. The act of simply staring into the fire may itself have been considered meditative. But the earliest written records of practices we'd consider meditative come from the Vedas, the sacred texts of Hindu culture dating from around 1500 BCE. The Torah, the Jewish holy book, also contains descriptions of Isaac performing meditations. In China, Taoist meditations are recorded from around 600 BCE. Trying to determine who or what culture invented meditation proves equally difficult. We see it crop up in a variety of traditions from all over the world. Think of it like cooking. No one person invented cooking. Instead, ancient humans from many groups realized they could harness heat and fire to prepare food and allow it to keep longer, be easier to digest, and taste better. Meditation is a similarly worldwide practice that, in its most basic form, was probably invented many times. There are a variety of forms of meditation whose roots and history we can track because they were developed or written about more recently. But each of these forms takes its own unique path through history. It's beyond the scope of this book to create a comprehensive history of meditation. If you end up following a particular form of meditation, such as mindfulness, zazen, or transcendental meditation, I encourage you to do some research of your own about its history. For now, simply know that meditation is a worldwide phenomenon, with roots touching cultures from all areas of the world. And know that it is ancient. Even our hunter-gatherer ancestors probably engaged in simple forms of meditation that kept them feeling more connected and probably just a little less stressed. Stereotypes of meditation. There are many stereotypes and misconceptions that float around about meditation. Some are negative, and some may appear positive, but they're all pretty damaging to the reputation meditation gets. This is because they are all untrue and paint an unrealistic or inaccurate picture of the practice. Let's look at a few of the most common misconceptions and stereotypes and discuss how and why they are untrue. We'll also take a look at the actual truth, if any, that underlies the misconception. Hopefully, this will eliminate some negative ideas and give you a fuller picture of what meditation is and what benefits it can offer your life. Meditation is only for religious people. Meditation isn't only for religious people, and as our brief dive into the history of meditation has shown, it isn't only tied to one religion. Religions like Buddhism, and Hinduism are often associated with meditation because they both make specific use of this spiritual practice. But it is a practice open to anyone or any religion, or lack thereof. Also, remember that although I refer to meditation as a spiritual practice, you don't have to believe in anything outside the physical and emotional benefits of meditation to practice it. Certain styles, like crystal meditation or chakra meditation, are more geared toward people who have spiritual beliefs. That doesn't mean a more secular practice like mindfulness or even mantra meditation won't benefit even the most skeptical of practitioners. If you approach meditation with an open mind, patience with yourself, and a willingness to practice consistently, you can benefit from it, whether you consider yourself religious, spiritual, or a die-hard skeptic. The practice of meditation has many scientifically proven benefits for physical and emotional well-being that are available to people of all types of beliefs. Meditation will solve your problems. Given how many proven benefits meditation has, some people hold it up to an unrealistic standard. It's important to realize that meditation cannot solve all your problems. It can help with many of them, from reducing stress to improving focus, and even lowering blood pressure. But it is not a magic cure. It can be tempting to think that a practice as beneficial as meditation may be the secret answer to your problems, but that's not the case. There is almost never one solution that will help fix everything for you. Even for me, meditation did not change everything, but it gave me the calm and clarity I needed to make changes for myself. That's the real secret power of meditation. Once we get calm, clear, and focused through meditation, our problems become easier to manage by taking other steps. This is true because we begin to look at our lives and our problems a bit differently when we take a meditative approach to life. We'll discuss this more in Chapter 3. For now, know that you should take a realistic view of meditation. It can help you immensely, but it's not going to solve all your problems on its own. And I wouldn't trust anyone who says it is, even if that person is you. Meditation is about burying your emotions. There is a misconception that meditation is about suppressing or stopping emotions. This is untrue. It derives from the fact that the goal of meditation is to be able to feel and observe our emotions without reacting impulsively or getting carried away with them. To some people in our chronologically unregulated culture, not getting carried away with or reacting to our emotions can look like burying them. In fact, when we learn to observe and experience our emotions with minimal reaction, we're actually able to feel them more deeply. Meditation teaches us to sit with and experience our emotions without distracting ourselves or taking action. And this can sometimes lead to some big feelings. Fortunately, meditation also gives us the calm and focus to encounter those feelings in a safe way, without acting out or behaving in ways we might regret. So, while it's untrue that a goal of meditation is to be able to choose how we act when we feel strong emotions, it is untrue that meditation is about burying or suppressing emotions. This misconception may also be fed by meditation's close association with Buddhism. Buddhism hinges on a Stoic philosophy that encourages us not to get caught up in emotions. Buddhist meditators are often stereotyped as incredibly calm, serene, and unbothered. This has led to the idea that the Buddhist goal is to suppress emotions to reach nirvana or enlightenment. But that is not true. Nirvana means no wind, and this type of enlightenment goal is more about reaching a place where we are not blown about by our emotions, but can feel them while remaining in control of our actions and reactions. And that goal is definitely something meditation can help with. You can't meditate if you can't focus. This is one of the most damaging misconceptions about meditation. You can certainly meditate, even if you struggle with focus. And in fact, regularly meditating will improve your focus over time. It's not going to cure a condition like ADHD or make you superhuman,
But with consistent practice, meditation will help you focus more effectively and for longer periods of time. If you do have trouble focusing, or even if you have ADHD, you can still meditate. Keep in mind that sitting in silence, looking at a blank wall, or at the floor is not the only acceptable form of meditation. If focus is a challenge for you, you may benefit from adding in a movement element, such as walking, mindfulness, or simply creating a visual focus, like staring into the dancing flame of a candle. If it's the quiet that you find distracting, you can always try mantras or chanting. We'll talk more in detail about ways to adapt the practice of meditation to your personal needs in Chapter 7. For now, simply know that no matter how much you may struggle to focus, there is a style of meditation, or a slightly modified version of it, out there that can and will work for you. It's just a matter of finding what type of meditation is best suited to your needs and goals. You can't meditate if you have anger issues. Another misconception about meditation is that it's only for people who are already calm and very chill. But that's not true. In fact, this is one of the most damaging misconceptions, in my opinion, because it prevents people who have a lot to gain from meditation from ever trying it out. I mention anger specifically in this section, but really you can substitute anxiety, depression, or stress into the same sentence, and what I'm about to tell you still applies. Even if you have a lot of anger or deal with anger issues, not only can you meditate, but you stand to gain the most from the practice. There is a toxic element within some meditation circles that look down on or judge anyone dealing with anger, stress, depression, or other negative emotions, as if you should be able to meditate all your problems away. We've already busted that misconception, and we're going to bust this one too. If you are surrounded by toxically positive meditators, try finding other voices. Anyone is welcome in this practice, even if you struggle with feelings like anger or depression. The goal of meditation is to better manage our feelings and thoughts. So I encourage people who struggle with their feelings to try meditation. It can be a transformative practice. The idea that meditation is only for people who are already in control of their thoughts and emotions is missing the point entirely. We don't meditate because we have overcome anger, sadness, and anxiety. Instead, we meditate to learn to manage and overcome these challenging emotions. Meditation takes a lot of time. Meditation can happen in as little as 5 minutes a day. You can meditate for as much or as little time as you like. Even if you feel like you don't have time to meditate, remember, consistency is more important than achieving longer sessions. There is a saying that goes, if you have time to meditate, sit for 10 minutes. If you don't have time, sit for 20 minutes. The times cited vary, but the wisdom behind the quote is what matters. The goal is not to push us to sit for longer than we truly have time for. Instead, the quote attempts to illustrate the amazing payoff of meditation. When you feel stressed and busy, making time to meditate will help you calm your mind, release stress, and regain focus. All of these benefits will help you be more productive and can make it seem like you have more time. If you feel too busy to meditate, you'll probably reap even more rewards if you carve out the time to do it. Meditation is a practice that pays us back exponentially. The benefits we receive for the time we put in can easily make up for the 5, 10, or even 30 minutes we spend sitting. This is part of the amazing power of meditation. Meditation is about controlling your mind. Similar to the myth that meditation is about controlling your emotions, is the myth that meditation is about controlling your mind, controlling your thoughts, or emptying your mind. The real goal of meditation is to train your focus. It's about learning to choose what you pay attention to. Our minds are never empty. We are always focusing on something. It might be a sensation, a thought, or an emotion, but it's humanly impossible to not think of anything at all for very long.
Instead of emptying our minds when we meditate, we train them to focus on what we choose to focus on. Meditation usually involves a focus object. This could be counting your breaths, staring at a candle, repeating a chant, or noticing the sensations you experience. By choosing to focus on one of these things in meditation, we learn to increase our ability to focus on what we choose to focus on, when we choose to focus our minds. This gives us some control over our own minds, but make no mistake, thoughts will always come and go. The secret to meditation is learning to decide consciously when we want to follow our thoughts and when we want to focus on something else. This ability for conscious choice is one of the main benefits of meditation, and in that sense, it does help us gain control over our minds. However, we do not gain that control by force. It's a paradox that often, the harder we try to focus, the more erratic our minds become. Because of this, meditation emphasizes a gentle approach, where we remind ourselves over and over to come back to our chosen focal point, instead of trying to rigidly fix our attention and hold it by force of will. As we practice and become used to meditation, our capacity for this gentle type of focus naturally grows. Just as repetition makes any activity easier, meditation becomes less difficult over time. What's even better is that our increased focus will be noticeable throughout our day, not just when we are actively meditating. So although meditation allows us to make choices about where we place our attention, our ability to make these choices is strengthened through practice and repetition, and not through force and willful control. This is why regularity and consistency are more key to meditation than sporadic long periods of practice. Before we wrap up this chapter, let's talk a bit about some of the famous meditation teachers and writers you will likely hear about as you begin your meditation journey. These people can also help to inspire you to pursue your meditation goals as well. Notable figures in the meditation movement. Although the roots of meditation may show no clear inventor, but instead point to its development in a variety of places over time, there are certainly what I'd call the giants of modern meditation. These are figures within the modern meditation movement who have helped to bring meditation to the forefront and promote its many benefits. These people and a few others who won't be mentioned here have taken the more Eastern ideas of meditation that developed in Asia and have made them accessible to people from a Western cultural background. We'll look at 3 of the biggest names in modern meditation, so when you inevitably read their names or come across their writings, you'll know a bit about who they are and why you hear about their work so much. Keep in mind, these 3 men are not the only voices in modern meditation movement. They are just some of the most popular and most prolific. You're likely to hear about other people too. As you settle into a style of meditation that works best for you, I encourage you to look into any names you see coming up over and over again, associated with that type of meditation. Each technique has its own unique history, special teachers, and notable voices within it. Right now, let's look at the top 3 men you've probably heard of, if you've read about meditation at all. You might have heard of them even if you've never looked into meditation before. Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh was a Vietnamese Zen Buddhist monk, peace activist, meditation teacher, and prolific author. He is considered to be the forefather of the mindfulness meditation movement in America. His teachings emphasize the practice of mindfulness, as well as developing peace, compassion, and interconnectedness. He taught mindfulness within the context of ethics and emphasized that mindfulness and meditation were paths to learning compassion and living an ethical life. He emphasized mindfulness and meditation not as a tool to gain something such as success or healing, but as a way of living that would lead to an ethical life. Thich Nhat Hanh has written over 100 books that range from manuals about mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhism to children's books and poems. If you enjoy mindfulness, especially if you want to bring mindfulness out of your seated practice and into other areas of your life, such as how you eat or work, I highly recommend some of Thich Nhat Hanh's books. Han passed away on January 22, 2022, at the monastery where he trained as a teenager. Although he is no longer with us, his teachings and writings were so prolific that his legacy and impact on modern mindfulness will continue to live on and leave its mark on generations of future meditators across the globe. Deepak Chopra. Dr. Deepak Chopra is an Indian-American medical doctor and pioneer of alternative medicine. He holds a medical degree, and despite some of the negative stigma that sometimes exists around alternative medicine, Dr. Chopra continues to look for evidence and science-backed methods that have yet to be embraced fully by medical establishment. Deepak Chopra has written over 90 books so far and continues to write. His works include numerous New York Times bestsellers and other popular books on alternative health and mediation. Chopra writes on a variety of topics, including yoga and Indian styles of meditation. He is definitely one of the most influential spiritual leaders of our time, and according to Time magazine, he is one of the 100 most influential people of our time. Period. If you are interested in combining yoga with meditation, using meditation as a path to health and healing, or in Indian styles of meditation, it's a good idea to take a look at some of the works of Deepak Chopra. Even if you're more interested in mindfulness or other practices, Chopra's work is so prolific and central to modern thinking about meditation that I encourage you to at least read a few of his blogs or books. Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza is a New York Times bestseller writer and world-renowned speaker. He began as a chiropractor. However, his further research into neurophysiology and how changes in the brain impact the body have led him to becoming an expert in the field of meditation. Dr. Dispenza's books and teachings focus on how changes in the brain impact the physical body and how we can use meditation and other brain-based techniques to reach our goals. Some of Dispenza's most interesting research has been on miraculous and spontaneous remissions from diseases, otherwise thought to be lifelong or incurable. Dispenza discovered that many of the people who have these miraculous changes in their health actually achieve it by making mental changes first, and then seeing changes in their health. If you are interested in the connection between the mind and the body, particularly as it relates to our ability to heal ourselves and create changes, Joe Dispenza's books are a wonderful starting point. They balance real-life case studies, high-level science, and accessible and actionable practices and information to teach you how you, too, can change your life through meditation. And even if you don't experience miraculous health changes, meditation will definitely improve your life. Dr. Dispenza's books can help you better understand how these changes happen and how the brain impacts the body. If learning more about meditation and unlearning some of the myths you've probably heard has got you excited to get started, great. In the next chapter, we'll jump right into what I like to call Meditation 101, where we'll learn about the basic principles that underlie all forms of meditation, as well as some facts about its impact on the brain. Conclusion: be gentle, purposeful, and consistent. This book has presented a lot of information, which might feel overwhelming. Think of any meditation practice as a journey, not a goal. It could take a lifetime or more to learn all there is to know about meditation. Meditation has been practiced for centuries worldwide, and we're just now rediscovering it in modern Western culture. There's a lot to learn. However, you don't need to know everything to practice meditation and gain its benefits. Just start meditating, be consistent, and trust that the results will come. The goal of any meditation practice should be to find what works for you. With this book or anything else you learn about meditation, take what helps you and leave the rest behind. It can be a process of trial and error until you find the style and practice that suits you. Remain patient and curious about your practice and its results. Keep an open mind and try anything that appeals to you. This book has taught you a brief history of meditation and simultaneously busted some detrimental myths and misconceptions about the practice. Remember that while meditation offers spiritual benefits, you do not need to be religious or even deeply spiritual to practice it. Born out of religion and spirituality,
Meditation has been scientifically proven to also offer benefits to our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. The practice is deeply associated with spirituality, but its benefits are far-reaching and apply to all aspects of our lives. We've discussed key concepts in meditation and its many benefits for mind, body, and spirit. I hope you learned the benefits of living a meditative life and taking a more mindful approach to your daily life as well. Non-judgment, patience, and a calm focus on the present moment are all daily ways to live a more meditative life and bring your practice and its benefits with you, wherever you are. The styles discussed in Chapter 5 are only a starting point. If any of them interest you, try them for a few weeks and see how you like them. Again, I highly encourage keeping a meditation journal to assess how you feel about different styles and techniques. If you want, do further research in the styles you try. There's a lot more to learn, and so much information available, it couldn't possibly fit in one book. Feel free to combine styles and techniques too. Use the tools that help you, and don't worry about having to do anything a certain way. As long as you are sitting in calm, focused relaxation consistently, then you are doing meditation right. You will see the benefits if you stay patient and consistent. Chapter 6 discussed the best times to meditate, how long to meditate, and more importantly, knowing your motivation for meditating. Holding this motivation clear in your mind will inspire and guide you as you develop your own unique practice that gives you the benefits you seek. Knowing your motivation will help you push you closer to your goals and make them easier to achieve. It will also help you stay motivated and consistent in your practice. We've also talked about how to personalize your practice, and it's something I hope you take to heart. A personalized practice will offer the most benefits because each person, their goals, and their needs will be unique. Meditation is a flexible practice that can easily be adapted to suit whatever needs you have while still providing amazing benefits. It may take some time to settle on what works best for you. Again, a meditation journal to keep notes and track your thoughts on different ways you can personalize your practice and the benefits they give you will help in this process. In Chapter 8, we touched on the importance of breathwork as a component of meditation. It's central to many forms of meditation as a focal point. Even in other styles with different focal points, mindful breathing helps us relax and reach a meditative state. You can also practice breathwork techniques outside of meditation, and they offer their own benefits. Combining focused, controlled breathing with meditation will give you the most benefits, as the two work together in harmony. Meditation teaches us about ourselves. We learn what we need, how we can grow, and what benefits us. From this awareness, we can act from an informed position. This lets us better pursue our goals, live in alignment with our values, and seek what will help us grow. Lao Tzu said, "Knowing others is wisdom. Knowing yourself is enlightenment." This illustrates why enlightenment is a personal and fluid state that will look different for everyone. Remember that your meditation practice and your enlightenment don't serve just you. In our culture, many people can feel guilty for taking time to relax. Be still and focus on themselves. Meditation is a personal journey of growth and healing. But thanks to the Maharishi effect, we are also able to impact the world around us with our meditation. By living a meditative life, we are able to be more compassionate and intentional. This benefits not only ourselves, but everyone we interact with as we treat them with respect and compassion. I hope this book inspired you to begin a meditation practice and live a mindful and intentional lifestyle. Start now. Do not delay. Meditation gives benefits over time, so the sooner you begin a consistent practice, the sooner you start to heal yourself and the world. Use your practice as further inspiration to continue to move toward a more aligned and spiritual life. The benefits are undeniable, so keep an open mind, take a deep breath, relax, and meditate.